Welcome back to Your Real Estate Voice with Barb Schlinker, the weekly radio show that informs and educates you on how to buy or sell real estate with Barb Schlinker. She's the owner broker of Your Home Sold Guaranteed Realty and the host of the program. Now, Barb, you know that for years I have recommended you and your team, but many people put very little planning or thought into picking a real estate agent to handle one of their largest assets, their home. Barb, how can home sellers tell if a realtor is good at selling homes in Colorado?
Well, Richard, not all real estate agents are the same. People assume that if an agent has a lot of years in the business, maybe they've got more expertise, but it's kind of misleading because right now the general stats are probably half the agents really don't sell any homes. It's just kind of a hobby business for them. And then the other half only sell maybe a handful of them throughout the year. So it's pretty easy to make a mistake when you select somebody. I was sitting down with a client the other night, and they were talking about the agent that they had when they bought the home, and we were just going over the contract because we got an offer, and they were just kind of shaking their head like, "Wow, we've never heard any of this stuff before," but they actually use that contract to buy a house. So, not everybody really sits down with them to explain what's going on. I think people really do want to be informed and they want to make the right decision when it comes to who they're going to work with when it's time to either buy or sell. And I think in general, most home sellers really don't know what questions to ask a real estate agent. According to the National Association of Realtors, most home sellers actually only interview one agent. And that's okay if it's somebody that you know has good experience. There's a lot of really good agents out there. That's fine. But some people just pick them because they sold them the house or they know them or were referred by someone else. But because of the low sales volume that goes on in the industry, they just don't know to ask those questions. Like, as an example, I looked at the March statistics for the Pikes Peak region. There were only 1,059 sales, including single family homes and townhomes. Yet there are more than 6,300 agents out there, right? So if you're interviewing an agent that doesn't sell very many homes, sometimes they will say things just to get the contract signed that might not serve you in the end. And I did some research on Grok and some of those websites to see what they say about it, not just what I say. And what Grok says, there's some red flags that you really got to watch out for when you select a real estate agent. First of all, if an agent comes in and goes, "Oh, I can get you, a number that seems really high to you," I would be very careful about that because is that really true? How do they know that a buyer is willing to pay that much money? Now, they could make mistakes on pricing, but there are some agents that will just say, "Oh, I can get you so much money," and they know that it's not going to command that much money. And then at the end of the day, it doesn't happen. Then your house gets stale on the market. Then you slowly walk the price down and you net less money. It happened to a client of mine a couple years back. He called me and he lived up in near the mountain area, which the summertime is prime time for selling. And he had his house on the market with this one agent that pretty much ghosted him the entire summer during the prime time, didn't talk to him about making a price change. The agent was the one that told him to price at that price. It wasn't working. There were very few showings. So finally, he broke up with that agent. He called me and we sat down and looked at the price. We got it priced, just a small adjustment, really, and updated the marketing. And boom, we got a contract within 2 weeks. So it can be done right, or it could be a miserable experience. And the other thing you have to worry about is if an agent is part-time. Now, I run into this a lot when I'm working with an agent on the other side. I kind of notice that, they will bring an offer maybe on the weekend, but then I don't hear from them except for after 5:30 at night, sometimes 8 o'clock at night, Sunday night, everything's a real estate emergency. Oh my God, I forgot to schedule the inspection. Can you ask right now at 9 o'clock on a Sunday night? And I have to set expectations for that kind of behavior. I have a whole inspection policy that I send to them to say, all right, these are the rules. You need to plan ahead because the sellers need to know it's going to happen. They have to prepare for it, and you need to attend the inspection. So that particular agent, of course, did not attend the inspection. We had to attend for him. And, oh, I didn't know it took so long to drive down there. And, he was up in the north part of the county and he didn't plan to go. That's what I think. He was just going to give the combo out to the unlicensed inspector and let him have at it. And then it's okay to hire a family and friend type agent if they are competent and they have some experience and expertise. And you want to make sure that agents are very transparent about what the costs are going to be. We always sit down, we actually show them the detail of what they can expect as far as sales price, what they can expect in terms of fees, so they have a really good idea what they're going to put in their pocket at the end of the day. And it's hard to price based on those automated numbers because they're very general in nature. And there are some agents just to get a little bit of business that will discount their fee, which, you know, commission is absolutely negotiable. But if they're going to discount their fee, I would be asking the question, okay, so what are you, tell me what you're going to do for that. We have these state forms that we are obligated to use. And in the state forms that sign up a seller to list a home in the open market, there is nothing in there about what they're going to do for their fee. Nothing at all. It doesn't talk about marketing. I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. It basically just talks about the relationship and how I'm going to work for you. That's all it basically says. So one of the services that we provide is we have a free report that you can get on my website, barbhasthebuyers.com. It's called the 10 questions to ask before you hire an agent, totally free, no obligation. You can go to barbhasthebuyers.com or call us at 719-301-3900. My name is Barb Schlinker. I'm the broker owner of Your Home Sold Guaranteed Realty and the host of this show, Your Real Estate Voice. And we're talking about how you can tell if a realtor is good for selling homes in Colorado or not. And next up, we're going to cover some really hard interview questions that I suggest you ask when you're talking to different agents to handle the sale of your home. Just give us a call if you want to make a move at 719-301-3900 or go to barbhasthebuyers.com. Richard?
Now, Barb, we're talking about giving the audience information so they can find the best agent to sell their house. What are some things that a home seller should check and questions a home seller should be asking when they're hiring a real estate agent?
Well, it's a good idea to check their references, their reviews, their local expertise, maybe their past sales. Some websites like Zillow will really put all of their past sales on there that are driven through the multiple listing service. But here's some key questions that you might want to ask an agent, like how many buyers are you working with right now? How likely is your company to bring buyers through my house? And then are the buyers that are coming, are they qualified? One of the things that happened in the industry, especially when the market got red hot, is the agents would connect with the buyer online, and the very first meeting with the buyer was at the house. They didn't know if they qualified to buy a home. They didn't even know what they were looking for. They almost use it as this marketing opportunity to get face to face with a buyer and maybe hope it works out. So, are they really vetting these buyers before they go and show a home? Because for most home sellers, it's rather inconvenient to get your house ready for sale and gather kids and dogs and get everything together. Also, a good question is, if I feel like you're not doing a good job for me, can I cancel the contract? A lot of people, a lot of agents won't do that. They won't cancel the contract. But it's all about, according to what's in the actual state forms, if the agent did not perform according to the agreement, it does give the seller a right to cancel, but some agents will push back on that. And you don't want to feel stuck in a long-term contract. A lot of people think that they have to endure the whole contract, but if the agent is not performing, that's a good reason to get out. And we actually put an agreement in writing that actually outlines all the things that we provide that are our guarantees, our buyers in waiting guarantee, our honest promises guarantee, our communication guarantee, our home sale guarantee, our cancellation guarantee, and reality-based pricing and time frame. Those are guarantees that we put in writing. And if we don't perform, then you'll either get a discount or you can move on. So if you are thinking of making a move, give us a call at 719-301-3900 or go to barbhasthebuyers.com. Richard?
I'm Richard Randall, and Barb Schlinker is the only agent that I recommend when you're thinking about making a move. You're listening to her on Your Real Estate Voice. She's the host of the program and the owner broker of Your Home Sold Guaranteed Realty. Barb, every week you've got hot new listings. What do you have this week?
I do. I have a couple of properties that are owned by the VA that are fantastic deals. There's one on Beta Drive that needs a little work, but it's priced very realistically. There's one out in the country on Storybook. We've got one coming up that's really cool in Woodland Park. We've got a fantastic one in Briargate, a gorgeous one on Willamette on the west side that's been completely updated. We also have a fantastic property in Pueblo on Royal Troon, a gorgeous home on Beckham in Peyton. In the mid fives, we also have an amazing home featured this weekend in Broadmoor Bluffs at 684 999 and plenty more. So if you want to find out about all of our properties, even our coming soon properties, give us a call at 719-301-3900, or you can go to barbhasthebuyers.com. Richard?
This is Your Real Estate Voice. It airs every Saturday. And if you're thinking of making a move, call Barb at 719-301-3900 or visit barbhasthebuyers.com. And remember, you can see replays of the show on Barb's YouTube channel, Barb Schlinker, or go to barbhasthebuyers.com and you can listen to the podcasts there or on all of the popular platforms like Apple Podcast, iHeartRadio, many, many others. Thank you for listening this week. Reach out to Barb. Again, that number is 719-301-3900. Barb, have a great week. We'll talk to you next week.
Thank you. Have a fabulous weekend.